What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. As you can see from some of those opening clips, the truck is shifting beautifully. It is good with this new fluid in the 47RE transmission, and I couldn't be happier with it right now. So we're gonna drive it like this for the next month and a half, 2 months or so, and then as we start to get into the fall weather, we're gonna drop the pan back off there, do another fluid and filter change on it. I'm also going to change out a couple of other things on the transmission when I do that one, so you want to stick around and be sure to check out the videos to see exactly what I'm going to do with the 47RE transmission that's strapped underneath my 2001 24 valve Cummins. In this video though, I want to talk about a few things that I hate about the 47RE, 48RE transmissions that come underneath these 2nd gen and 3rd gen Cummins trucks. We all know that these 47 and 48RE transmissions are in fact a weak point underneath these trucks. They just aren't built from the factory to handle the torque output that these Cummins engines can put out. Now, one of the biggest turds in the transmission that's very easy for you to access and get to when you have the pan off and you're doing a fluid and filter swap on your trans is in fact a governor solenoid. So the stock OEM governor solenoids that come in these 47 and 48RE transmissions are just complete junk. They're no good, they're garbage, and they cannot withstand higher pressures. Another thing with the OEM governor solenoid is that about 1/3 of the screen on it, so there's a screen on the governor solenoid that the fluid would flow through, so the screen would catch the contaminants or any little shavings in clutch material, just anything that's wearing in the transmission as it normally would, that your magnet in the pan catches. Well, some of that stuff doesn't get caught and flows through with the fluid, and there's a screen on the governor solenoid that would catch that and block that material from running through the solenoid. Well, only about 1/3 of that screen is actually, I guess, accessible to the flow of your transmission fluid. So that means that about 1/3 of the actual governor solenoid is exposed for the fluid to flow through. So it doesn't really get good flow of your transmission fluid. And one of the things that happens when the fluid is getting old and just mucked up with clutch materials and just dirty and stuff is that the governor solenoid will start to fail, and you will notice this by having a little bit of a shuttle shift between first and second. So you'll notice a little bit of a bouncing back and forth between first and second gear, or you'll just go to take off from a stop and feel like you're taking off extra slow because you'll actually be taking off in second gear, and that's because the governor solenoid isn't getting a good flow through it with the transmission fluid. So how do you fix that issue, you ask? Well, there are plenty of governor solenoid upgrades that are out there for these 47 and 48RE transmissions that you can purchase and swap out, and it's very easy to do. When you're changing out your fluid, it's a few little bolts underneath there, and you can just drop it down and put in a bigger governor solenoid so that it can handle more fluid flow and get the job done to where it should clear up that 1-2 shuttle shift if you experience that in your truck. Now, the best upgrade you can do for the governor solenoid is in fact the GM upgrade. Yes, that's right, boys. You're going to be putting a GM part in your Dodge truck. I know it blows my mind too, but it is a very good upgrade to do if you're experiencing this problem. So my transmission is actually equipped with a D&J Components GM governor solenoid upgrade kit, and that obviously was installed in the transmission when the transmission was rebuilt back when the prior owner had the truck. Now, you can't just go and get a GM governor solenoid and pull out your old OEM governor solenoid and then replace it with the GM version. You do have to get an adapter, which is basically just a billet aluminum block that would mount up in where your factory OEM governor solenoid is, and then that allows you to install the GM governor solenoid. And the GM one it's considerably bigger and larger than the OEM governor solenoid, so it just gets a lot more flow through it, and it's just a better design all around, and will definitely clear up your 1-2 shuttle shift if you do have that and you're experiencing that in your truck. Also, just a quick little upgrade type of deal that you can do for the OEM governor solenoid is if you were to remove the actual block that mounts into underneath the transmission. Remember I said that about 1/3 of the actual governor solenoid head with the screen on it is exposed for the transmission fluid to flow through. There's a little channel that flows down through the block that you mount the governor solenoid into. Now if you pull that down off and you take a 3/4 inch drill bit and kind of just drill down into it a little bit, as if you were like countersinking a screw, if you were building something, you're just going to drill down in a little bit. And what that's going to do is basically open up the channel that the ATF plus 4 fluid flows through and give 360-degree fluid penetration to that governor solenoid. So it will just open it up and allow for a better flow through there. And that could actually help clear up your 1-2 shuttle shift also, if you don't do like the GM upgrade or a bigger Borg Warner governor solenoid upgrade. The other little thing that is just junk underneath there, which goes hand in hand with the governor solenoid, is the pressure transducer. The stock pressure transducers in these 47 and 48 transmissions are just garbage, man. They're garbage. They're actually made of plastic and have a plastic body to them. So say you wanted to do a couple of little transmission upgrades or whatever, but can't afford a full-on rebuild, and you go and purchase an aftermarket valve body, and with that valve body, you're gonna get increased line pressures and stuff from that. That is basically going to snap or break your stock pressure transducer because the body of that is plastic. So what you want to do is go and upgrade to the BD diesel pressure transducer, which actually has a metal body and it will not crack. It can withstand higher pressures. So two of the best things you can do underneath your transmission, if you have the pan off of it, are to upgrade that governor solenoid and that pressure transducer. Another thing with these 47 and 48 RE transmissions that a lot of people probably may not even know or just overlook and don't really think about is the fact that they do have a torque management on them. So basically from first to second gear up to, I think it's like 25 miles per hour, what it does is defuel the truck so that you're not getting 100% fuel and able to create 100% torque in that low gear as you take off from a stop. And that basically is a safety feature that was done on these trucks because they knew that the transmissions were not the greatest. They were a weak link, and that was a way that they could try and keep the transmission healthy and prevent anything bad from happening. So if you've ever noticed when you're driving in your truck and you go to hammer down from a standstill or you try to do a burnout and it just kind of feels like the truck is a dog or might be like kind of slipping a little bit and just not getting power, that's the torque management kicking in trying to save your transmission. There are two things that you can do to get rid of that torque management on your truck. The first option will get rid of the torque management 100% and make it disappear completely, and the second option will clear up like 75 to 80% of it but still allow a little bit of it to function and do its job to help protect your transmission. Now obviously if you have a built transmission, you don't have to worry about messing with the torque management. You can do away with it completely and not worry about it because your trans can handle it, but it's not recommended to do these things if you still have the stock transmission unless you are you're in control of yourself and you can stay out of the skinny pedal so that you don't hurt the trans or do any damage to it. But the first thing is to get a BD rad box. Now what that does is kills the torque management 100%, but the downfall with that BD rad box is that it makes the tachometer on the gauge cluster stop working. So it basically is tricking the truck into thinking that it's already up at a certain RPM, certain speed, and makes it think that it doesn't need to apply that torque management so that you get that power down low from first to second. The other option you could do to do away with torque management, and this is the one that will kind of do away with like 75 to 80% of it but still allow some of it to function and work, is a Smarty. So the Smarties actually do have torque management control on them. So if you just ran the Smarty alone, or you could stack it with your edge comp box or something, but at least a Smarty, in my opinion, is a little bit safer because it still allows some of that torque management to work. So I feel like that's the better route to go. Plus, with the Smarty, your gauge cluster will still work and function properly as it should. So for anyone out there that can't really afford a full-on transmission build right now, because we all know that they are expensive as hell, 5 to 8 grand depending on what stage you get, but you want to help your transmission out a little bit and maybe get a little bit of a firmer shift, what I recommend to you is to drop the pan off there, change your fluid, change your filter, and go ahead and do the GM governor solenoid upgrade and upgrade to the BD pressure transducer. You can also go ahead and do like an aftermarket valve body and swap that out. There are some billet parts that you can swap out without removing the transmission too when you have the pan off of it, but we're not going to get into all that. We don't want this video to roll over into 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. So there's a lot of different little things that you can do with the pan off of your 47, 48 RE transmission. But the best thing that you can do if you just want to kind of help it out and help the truck out is to do the governor solenoid and the pressure transducer at the very least. I wouldn't mess around with the BD rad box or anything and try to kill the torque management on the truck if you aren't going for a full-on build, because you at some point sooner or later are just going to run into issues and you're gonna be going into a full-on build down the road, because it's just going to chew that transmission up, because obviously, like I already stated, that torque management system was put in place to help keep that transmission healthy and not have any issues with it. So I would leave that alone, but definitely upgrade that governor solenoid, upgrade that pressure transducer so it can handle higher line pressures and stuff. And I would honestly go ahead and do a shift kit or an aftermarket valve body so you can get higher line pressures and get a more positive shift out of the truck. That is going to do it for this video though. Just wanted to let you guys know that my truck is shifting beautifully right now, so I really don't have any complaints. We are going to be doing a couple of different things with the transmission on the second fluid change, so you can look forward to that, and maybe leave some guesses in the comment section. What do you think I'm going to change on my transmission when we get this pan off for the second time? Really though, when you do go and have these transmissions built, they are probably one of the best transmissions that you could have underneath your truck. They are legit a good bulletproof transmission once they are built. But I just wanted to go over a couple of things that I just dislike and really hate about these 47 and 48 RE transmissions. And they're, like I said, they're not a big deal. There's something very easy for you to go ahead and swap out in the driveway. Probably take you about an hour and a half total between dropping the pan, getting everything switched around and switched out, and then refilling it up. So just those couple things, and I definitely recommend it to you guys if you haven't or can't do a full trans build yet, but you definitely want to help out your transmission a little bit. Definitely get that stuff done, and you won't regret it. That is it out of me though. If you could hit that like button on your way out, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps the channel with growth, getting the videos recommended to new people. If you are new here, checking the channel out for the first time, hit that subscribe button, join the family. We are almost at 700 family members. We are probably gonna get that maybe by the end of tomorrow, beginning of Wednesday. So I am just pumped to keep growing this channel with you guys. You guys are awesome. I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Peace.